All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to another episode of the Bigote Brothers
Welcome.
podcast.
Hello. What's
Yeah,
up?
you got what's up? You got Mixie and Jeb here talking about the latest in the Lakers week.
The hottest team in the
Is it
NBA.
are they the hottest team? I
Yeah.
haven't actually paid attention to that stuff, but yeah, what do you, are they
No,
the hottest team?
I believe they are the hottest team in the NBA right now.
Okay, so right now the Lakers have 5 straight wins.
hmm
Okay, they have won 10 games out of a total 12 in February, so they have
Right.
only lost twice
hmm
within the last month. That was a Utah game before the break, the All Star
hmm
break, and the
Right.
Charlotte one after the All Star
Yeah.
break. Which is, I mean, come on, sure. It was an effort thing, it was an adjustment thing, but they basically went 10-2 in February when a lot of people expected them to lose.
Yeah.
Right, a lot of people
hmm
didn't expect them to have this kind of record. So now,
Right.
what do you think about this recent stretch of Laker basketball?
Um, in all honesty, I have not seen them play that well in like probably 3 years. Where they're all in sync, where you have this reinvigorated offense and
It's
this
crazy.
just this commitment to defense
Mm.
that we've seen from everyone on the team. So, and I guess it's also a statement that the Lakers are making that you know then the rest of the NBA is saying, "Oh, you can't win with a solid big man, or you can't, you can't like you're not you're gonna be a liability on defense without a solid big man." But hey, like you have guys stepping up, and we'll go into that later, starting with the Denver Nuggets game. But you just see guys stepping up on
It's
defense.
crazy. It's been.
It's
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. I
yeah,
gotta agree. I gotta agree. So this, uh, for I think, I think you got it on. I think you got it right. Right. This team hasn't played this hard since
Mhm.
2023, in my opinion.
Right,
Remember when they made that trade deadline deal to get Russell Westbrook off the team?
yeah, hmm
Right. They got Vando back. They got
hmm
D'Lo back, and they got
yeah,
Beasley, who's been shooting very well for the Pistons, by the way. We'll talk about it
hmm
later. But the effort that this team is playing with is just, I don't know if it's because of the roster change. I don't know if it's because uh, they see that Luka's playing hard. But
hmm
in my opinion, the reason they're playing this hard is because LeBron's playing hard,
and
right?
it's just I think overall it's this retooling of the team ever since the Luca trade,
You know what
and
I think?
it's
You know what I think
the
happened there?
yeah.
I think LeBron was kind of content of what his career was. This is before the trade, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, him and AD are friends, and they're playing
Right.
okay, but the team was going nowhere. Right? The
Yeah.
team was gonna go nowhere with those two, unless they took pay cuts, whatever, to bring more people in, or
Right.
a drastic roster change.
Yeah.
That LeBron AD partnership was
Mhm.
essentially done. There was no chance that team was winning, and I think
Mhm.
LeBron kind of knew that. He was. You know what? I'm almost retired. I'm just gonna take it easy. Maybe that was his thought.
Uh-huh.
But this trade essentially gave them a new window, right now. We kind of, I mean, we'll talk about this in a bit later, but we know that the window is open after LeBron
It
leaves,
was
and
wide
that was one
open.
of the
Yeah.
best parts of the deal. But
Mhm.
the other thing is the window's open now, and LeBron's playing like it. I think he realizes that he really has a legitimate chance to win a ring,
Yep.
and he's showing that.
Yeah. Just the difference that Luka Doncic makes on the team, playmaking. I mean, he's not. He's not the scoring machine that he was in Dallas, where it's consistently
At least
thirty
not
point
yet.
game after 30 point game after thirty
At
point game.
least not
But
yet. I think that's
not yet.
coming, but yeah.
But the thing is, he doesn't need to, because he has a reinvigorated LeBron James, where
I,
he can score.
it's think about it this way: the second best player on this team is LeBron James.
Yeah.
You know how crazy that
It's
sounds?
crazy. Yeah.
You know how crazy that
Yeah.
sounds,
hmm
right? We've been, I know, I know LeBron's been propping up AD, like he wants him to be the best player in the team
Mm-hmm.
and all that. And sometimes AD kind of played that way, but it was
Right.
a lot. It's really consistent, and
Mm-hmm.
LeBron still had to carry a lot of the load. But right now, legitimately speaking, Luka is the best player on this team. LeBron is
Yeah.
second. But the thing is, over this these recent stretch of games, LeBron's been playing at an MVP level.
Yep.
Right? He's been playing at he looks
Mhm.
LeBron looks 5 years younger than me. He
Yeah.
looks like he's in his prime. He doesn't seem old. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
all the times that we've talked about him here, those were the times where he really looked like he was 40.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't look anywhere near 40 recently. And
Right.
the team is reciprocating that as
Mhm.
well.
You can see the impact of Luka Doncic on his, on his game, and just overall the impact that he has on the whole team in general. Um, and he has he has the ball most of the time in his hands, and LeBron, like we mentioned earlier in this podcast that LeBron gets most of his points now from catch and shoot opportunities, or just getting the ball from his point guards. And now Luca's finding him. Luca's
Yeah.
finding him.
Who
He's
else?
Luca's giving him like open. Luca's giving him like gimmies to the
Yeah. Who,
basket.
if someone is gonna give assists to LeBron James, this might as well be one of the best playmakers of his
Yeah.
generation, right?
Right.
LeBron's getting spoon fed points. He's getting
Yeah.
wide open looks. He's getting easy transition baskets, which we're gonna
Yeah.
talk about in a bit. But this offense seems to have been transformed by this trade.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yep.
you kind of said it. Luka now has the ball in his hands most of the time. This wasn't the case before the All Star break.
Yeah.
When he
Hmm.
first got in, I think they were kind of feeling themselves out. I know. LeBron had that huddle message to him to say,
Hmm.
don't fit in, fit the
Yeah.
fuck out,
Yeah.
all that. But now it's really happening. I think we're seeing what this offense looks like with Luca
Hmm.
there, and obviously he's not really shooting that well yet, right? As you mentioned, he's not scoring that well yet, but
Right.
they're
Mhm.
playing so well,
Yeah.
and I don't think anything encapsulates this much more than the Nuggets game
Mhm.
that they had. Obviously,
Oh
the
yeah.
Boogeyman Nuggets. We've seen.
Yes.
I don't really have the record that they had. I just know that they already beat him once. They beat him once in the playoffs. But then they lost again in the. I think they
Lost
have one
again.
win
Yeah.
against the
Mhm.
Nuggets
Yeah. I think
in a
one
big
win
stretch. Yeah,
out of like what 18,
at least 10
16
games
games. Yeah.
probably. So one win in that. I mean, the Nuggets have essentially owned the Lakers ever since that Western Conference Final series,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
Right? They haven't been able to beat these Nuggets,
Hmm.
and Nuggets fans have given Lakers fans shit about it, and then
Yep.
rightfully so. They really have the Lakers number after getting
Yeah.
beat in
Oh
that
yeah.
bubble series, right?
Yeah.
But it was a whole different story against that
Man.
Nuggets. And I'll get back to this story in a little bit, but that game when the Lakers Nuggets game was going on, I was
Hmm.
actually watching the Philippine team because they were
Yeah.
here. They were
Oh
here in
yeah.
New
Yeah.
Zealand. They played against it was a FIBA qualification game
Right.
basically, and Gilas Pilipinas was playing the New Zealand Tall Blacks.
With all
I'll
that
get to
said.
that in a bit, but let's go over the Lakers first, right?
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a bit, but that that Lakers Nuggets game, I think the defense was what was the difference in that game.
Mhm. Oh.
Right? Apart from
Wow.
the offense, which
Mhm.
dude, they had four players with at least 20 points in
Good
that
points.
game,
Yep. Hmm.
right? So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? I mean, let's focus on the Nuggets game because that's kind of where
Focus on the
uh,
Nuggets game, and like
they're
especially
they're the biggest struggle of the Lakers so far. So what do you think about the Nuggets game?
the big story of the Nuggets game was basically how they contained Nikola Jokic.
That was it. That
That
was
was a
it.
that was the biggest story. Like JJ Redick himself said that he couldn't sleep for 2 nights, thinking of a way to contain Jokic and contain and limit his effectivity. And
I thought he
based
was
on
joking when he said that, but he was. I mean, the way they
I don't
played
think
that
he's
game, I
joking.
think he was serious.
Knowing like how much of a basketball nut he is, how much of a basketball geek he is, like he's gonna spend like hours just going over tape and trying to find the best possible way to contain Jokic, and he did.
'Cause-
Based on all the videos that we saw, like explaining how the Lakers contained Jokic, it was they just gave him a hard time, and the numbers show it. He only took 7 shots the whole game.
7 shots for an MVP candidate. That is
Yeah,
so crazy, and it's not by choice. they were
yeah,
they were literally smothering him.
yeah.
I have a video here, from Thinking Basketball
Mm-hmm.
channel. So let's share that a little bit. I'll have the audio paused, but
Mm-hmm.
let's play this. Let's play
Right.
this real quick. Let's
Yeah.
see how they did it. Right. So as you can see, the strategy that they had
Yeah.
was, so you had the guards there. LeBron's guarding Gordon, and the crucial part is that this person in here in the low block, in this case, it's Jackson Hayes, and you got Christian Brown there
Yeah,
on the
you have
corner.
Rui Hachimura on
Rui
Jokic.
Hachimura on Jokic,
Yeah.
which I mean, to be fair, right? Darvin before, I think in the 2023 series, kind of put Rui on Jokic with mixed results.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rui did a good job on him,
Mm-hmm.
but if you see what happens here, right? So let's play this clip real quick. So you see that Rui is pushing Jokic out farther and
Okay, yeah.
farther away. He's not
Yep.
catching it on the block,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's not catching it on the block. He's catching it essentially above the free throw line, which is horrible itself to begin with.
Anywhere within 15 feet, and it's over.
Yeah,
We know that.
exactly. So
Like, you know.
so Jokic catches his really high, close to the 3 point line. You're gonna have Porter Jr. set a screen to get Reeves on Murray,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which I think the prelude to him getting that handoff to Jamal, which that's what's happening here. What they do, look at this, switch it, boom, and look at what Austin does.
Yep.
He immediately fronts him. Now, look how
Yep.
this defense is set up. You have one, two, three. You have everyone's eyes on this side of the floor where
Right.
Jokic and Murray are.
Mm-hmm.
You're essentially saying Brown and Porter Jr. can take that shot. Luca can come back and contest on Porter Jr.
Right.
And you'll have, I would say, Jackson Hayes, if ever whoever catches it, whether it's Gordon or Brown, and Braun will be the one who's actually gonna be the low man who's gonna try to double Jokic,
Right.
right? So if you let this thing play, see that LeBron is roaming, right? And now they switch.
Now they're switching. Yeah.
You got LeBron in there, and then you get Jackson Hayes, who's gonna be able to double off on the weak side if they make that pass.
Mm-hmm.
And look how hard it is. They're at 5 seconds, man. They haven't gone to they're still thick into their action. They got
Mhm.
5 seconds left in the shot clock. What kind of shot are you gonna get? A force Aaron Gordon. Luka blocks it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So they get the ball back, 2 seconds left, and you get forced into a bad shot. Make
Yep.
that, it's fine, but still great defense. Look, they're picking him up. They're picking him up half court. They're
Yep.
not letting him get into his comfort zones. They're pushing him off. Again, he catches the ball near the 3 point line. They try to run a dribble handoff. Right? They defend
Nope.
that well.
Denied.
Nothing.
Yep.
Right? So that's kind of the crux of it, right? So the way they defended Jokic was just amazing as far as the discipline to keep that up for a whole game and how effective it was.
Mm-hmm.
So the question now becomes, okay, so JJ essentially just tipped his hand as to what they're gonna do moving forward, and
Right.
I don't know. I'm gonna watch a couple more games of the Nuggets to see how other teams defend Joker.
Right.
But did JJ tip his hand early? Did he show his cards early with this? Because potentially they're gonna face each other in the playoffs. At this moment, Nuggets are second seed. The Grizzlies are third, and the Lakers are
Third.
fourth, and they're essentially neck and neck now. So Nuggets are just leading by wins. Nuggets have 39 wins, Grizzlies 38, Lakers have 37.
36 or
So
37.
they're just separated by wins right now, and
Mm.
the 2-3-4 is just, actually 2-3-4-5 are interchangeable at this moment. So
Yeah.
there's really a lot of they're gonna face each other in the playoffs most
Yeah.
likely. But did JJ tip his hand early, or did he have to do this right now?
He has to do this right now. I think he has to do this right now because um, we we want to be able to make a statement before the playoffs, and I know for a fact that the Nuggets are gonna readjust. They're gonna readjust. You know, um, they're gonna try to get their other players, hot, and and especially Jamal Murray. We know that from the previous playoffs that the if there was one player who really beat us, it was Jamal Murray.
Mm.
So we still, we have to take that into consideration. Jamal Murray, despite the lackluster season he's been having, is still a threat. He's still a threat. He can shoot. The one elephant in the room, I think that is gonna be a disadvantage for the Nuggets is they don't have a KCP.
Right, right. That
They
was
don't
a
have a
big loss.
KCP.
Yep.
They don't have a 3 and D guy like KCP. And other pieces, yeah. I think that's gonna be a strategy that JJ's gonna implement when they face each other. Like, have the other players beat us. We'll deny Jokic all he wants, but have the other players beat us.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was the thing, right?
Aaron
Yeah.
Gordon cannot single-handedly beat us, even if he
No.
scores 30.
No.
Russell Westbrook
They
cannot single-handedly beat us.
they tried, yeah. So
Yeah,
they had Westbrook, Brown, and
yeah,
Gordon essentially just take
yeah.
the shots instead of
Michael,
Jokic. Those were
yeah, Michael Porter, as talented as he is, the possession ends with him when he has the ball. That's pretty much it.
yeah. So it's essentially the Lakers are essentially daring them to just keep up, right?
Yeah.
The offense of the Lakers is something else, and we're gonna get into
Yeah.
that in detail in a bit.
That's
But
the thing. Also, yeah, if they can make adjustments on their offense, how are they gonna stop our offense? Which is,
essentially the most overpowered duo
yeah,
we've ever seen.
yep,
That's essentially what it is. But check this out. To point out the defense again, they had 39 points off turnovers. They scored
in the
39
Nuggets
points
game,
off
yeah.
Denver turnovers. That was a game right there.
Yeah.
Apart from neutralizing
The,
somewhat
the
Jokic.
Nuggets in previous matchups, they would remember that game. I remember that, so frustrating. Game 1, last year's first round. We were neck and neck with them for the first half, and then they just went on the run in the third quarter, and that was pretty much the nail in the coffin for the whole series.
Yeah.
So that was an offense that was predicated on Jokic and Murray, and we just stifled that offense. 39 points off of turnovers.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's an insane stat right there. They essentially that essentially told us that the defense was working, right? Whatever
Yeah.
they did, and
Yeah.
and JJ they showed the Lakers official Instagram account essentially showed the speech that JJ had in the
Yeah.
locker room. I don't know if you saw it,
Yeah. Yep.
but
Yep.
yeah, they were essentially they this was the game plan that they had and they stuck to it.
Hmm.
All right, and it's probably that's I agree with you. I would prefer to have JJ save this, but I understand if he used it now. Obviously, they needed this win. They needed
need this win,
They
yeah.
needed some sort of statement win.
Yeah.
To just not really just to send them. I don't think it's to send a message to the league. It's more of to send a message to themselves that they can do
Yeah,
this.
they
That
can
this
do
is
this, yeah.
actually possible.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what they did. They that was one of the best wins of the season for me. Not just
Oh, yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's against the Nuggets, but it's how they executed from start to finish and how they beat them.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Right.
Right, and so the next game, The next game was the Lakers Dallas game at Staples. Did you? That was an insane.
Thank you,
I was
Nico.
everybody was
Thank
just
you, Nico.
everyone. I saw that video. Everybody was
Oh God,
chanting, "Thank you, Nico." He was there. I think
he
he
was
was
there.
2 rows behind
Yeah.
the floor, and everyone was just chatting that. Did you see Luca's face?
Yeah.
Did you see that
I saw
photo
that photo. Yeah.
of Luca just looking at him after he
Yeah.
made a basket? And
Yep.
that's probably one of the best basketball photos I'm ever gonna see.
Yeah.
I want that framed, man. I want that
Yeah.
framed in my room.
Yep.
That's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna get someone to frame that for me because that is just such a badass
So
photo. And
badass. Yeah.
again, he didn't even score too much. He only had 19 points, but
19, but yeah, triple double.
yeah, his first triple
Yeah.
double. You know that game was
First of
personal,
many
right?
triple doubles. Yeah.
Yeah, that game was personal. The way he
Oh
played
yeah.
that, you can see.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can see. I
Yeah.
mean, they got torched by Kyrie, but the way they pulled that out, I have confidence that if you just give Luca and Braun the ball, they're gonna make something happen, and
Yeah.
that was proof of it,
Hmm.
right? And obviously they had that. The next game they had was against the Timberwolves,
Yeah.
and God, that was such a good game.
Yeah.
LeBron again. LeBron's getting. Look, we
We're,
made that prediction. He's gonna retire next year.
yeah.
I kind of think that's not gonna happen anymore. The way LeBron is playing,
Yeah, 33, 17, and 6.
that's insane, man. For a
Yeah,
40-year-old to
13
have
and
that kind
7.
of impact,
Yeah.
right? And again,
Easy.
the Ant Man was ejected in that game,
Yeah.
but and they actually almost blew that game, to be honest.
Hmm.
And that was the game that Luca. Oh yeah, that was the game that Luca was really struggling in. Every shot he threw up was just missing and missing until he had that.
Right.
He was drifting left. He was fading left on one leg 3-pointer to beat the shot
Oh
clock.
yeah, that
Right? Did you see
that
his dad's
shot.
face when he made that shot?
Yeah.
They saw they showed his dad's
Yeah.
reaction on the broadcast, and nobody can believe it. Nobody can believe
Yeah.
it that he can make those kind of
Yep.
shots. But the thing that really caught my eye was, I think, another statement win was yesterday's game
Against
against
the
the
Clippers.
Clippers. That was. I think again, apart
Had
from the Nuggets game, probably one of their best games. The
right.
way they just hung on and the way they executed. Because look, the Clippers are the second best defense in the league.
In the league, yeah.
Okay, so they're not a joke right now. Okay, so even if Kawhi's hurt and whatnot, Norman Powell didn't play that game, obviously, which did hurt the Clippers. And we all know that Ty Lue's one of the best coaches in the league, and he coached like it. They were Zubac was just hunting the Lakers all night long. They were hunting him
Right.
on offense, right? They were hunting him on defense, but they didn't have an answer for him. Big Zoo,
No, yeah.
Zupac.
Yeah. Zubac. Yeah.
So the Clippers essentially just abused the Lakers inside, which I think is probably gonna be the story
It's gonna
moving
yeah, it's
forward.
gonna happen, you know.
Everybody's gonna want their big man, especially those kinds of big men, to feast against the Lakers.
Right.
I do have confidence. So the way they handled Jokic, they can probably adjust to anything, and it
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
really. It did. I mean, it didn't help that Harden, Kawhi couldn't buy buckets late.
Yeah.
So now, as we said, Lakers have 5 straight wins, and again, 4th in the Western Conference. It's a tight race. They're essentially fighting for the second seed, which
Right.
actually at this point in time would put them against the Warriors, man. That's the war.
Ooh.
So okay, here's the teams in the play-in right now. So you got the Warriors, the Timberwolves, the Kings, and the Mavericks. The Mavericks are actually 8.
You're right.
How good would it be if it was Lakers and Mavericks in the first round?
Oh my goodness. Ooh.
What do you think's gonna happen
Wow.
there? Obviously, I don't know. I don't know if AD is gonna be out for the whole season. I hope he gets better. I hope Dallas gets back to full strength. What do you see with that kind of series?
It's gonna be very difficult for Dallas to actually, it's gonna be a long shot, honestly, for them to win that series. Especially given given those factors like they're short-handed. AD might return. Gafford not likely. But I think if we're looking at a 7-game series against the Mavericks, I know it's Luka's gonna go off. That's 100% Luka's gonna go off. 100%. You know he's gonna play every game with a chip on his shoulder. That's for sure.
Wait,
Especially it's a playoff series.
think about this. So
So,
they're gonna play the Dallas. They got to play the Mavericks in Dallas
yeah.
next month. That's
Yep.
the first time.
Right.
That's the first time Luca goes back.
Uh
Right.
huh.
That's gonna be the tail end of the Lakers schedule.
Right.
And again, I really hope that the Mavericks get healthy. I
Mm-hmm.
personally think that if I'm not saying the NBA is rigged, by the way,
Mm.
but if the NBA were to rig it, I think that's probably the play. You want Lakers and Mavericks to be in the first
You
round.
want Lakers
That's it.
Mavericks to face each other? Yeah.
I do think it's gonna be a close series, assuming they're both in full strength. Yeah, it's
Right.
just there's really no one. Uh, no one's gonna be able to stop AD
Mm.
if he decides to go off.
Yeah.
No one on the Lakers will be able to stop him.
Yeah.
The only thing that I have there is that AD has been very passive.
Mm.
I don't know if he's gonna have that same fire, but if he does become passive, then I think it's gonna be a short
Given, yeah,
series.
that Kyrie Irving is very ball dominant. I think Kyrie still wants to be the anchor of the offense. Still gonna want the ball. Um, and the scary part is they went off. They went off in that
Kyrie
game.
went off, yeah. Yeah, I
Clay
think
couldn't
30
miss.
plus points, yeah.
Clay could hardly miss.
And that
And
was more to the defense though. I think that's
yeah.
probably the weakness that look, Rui, I have a love and hate relationship with Rui,
Mm-hmm.
but his consistency is what really pisses me off the most.
Mm-hmm.
And him losing shooters is definitely one of his weaknesses. That was essentially on him and Austin
Right.
Reeves, basically, just losing Clay. You know Clay's just gonna pop off,
Oh
right?
yeah.
If you just let him do that, and that's what essentially triggered that run. They had him. They had him in
Right.
the first half. They really almost lost that game in the third when they just let the
Yeah.
shooters of the
Yeah.
Mavericks go off. So yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting series. I would want to see that series. I think it will
Right.
be. Lucas talked about closure. He's mentioned that there hasn't been full closure yet. That might take a while. Blah blah
Right.
blah. No matter, even if he says that he's okay and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
I think beating the Mavs would officially usher in the Luka Doncic year. He's
Right.
been great now, and we're gonna speak
Yeah.
on that in a bit, right?
Mhm.
But just being able to beat the Mavericks in the playoff series, that's probably what they want to go with.
That's yeah. Yeah. I think I agree that's gonna be that's probably gonna be the closure. And I hope you know whatever the outcome of that series, it would usher in the next chapter for the Dallas Mavericks. Whatever they whatever their ownership plans are, or whatever front office plans are. If they're gonna if they're gonna sign a big name free agent next year, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I still think they have a chance. They probably would have a fighting chance against the Lakers in that series, but
Right.
depending on how AD plays, that's probably
Mhm.
going to go 6 or maybe even 5. It's
5 or 6.
just
Yeah.
I just think that the Lakers' offense is too strong, and even
Yeah.
though that they kind of you can see that the focus of the defense of the Mavericks when they played Luca
Mm-hmm.
was they wanted to really just neutralize him, and that was
Right.
okay. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of emotions in that game, and
Mhm.
Luca even admitted it himself. So but that should disappear in the playoffs, and we'll definitely
Right.
see a more competitive
Yeah.
Luca there. So, I really wanted to. I've been thinking about this for a bit ever since this trade came down, right? So, we've seen flashes of this happen.
Yeah.
You know, you remember the times when I think it was the Lakers always the first play that the Lakers run most of the time in games when they started when AD was still there was that they would just throw the ball full court to AD
Right.
right? That's almost always that happens in a
Hmm.
lot of games where they
Right.
just throw a full court pass.
Yeah.
Braun throws a full court pass to AD for
Mhm.
the bucket, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've seen that a lot more times ever since Luca came.
It's just owing to his court vision. His court vision is just amazing. We've seen those plays where right when he gets the rebound, he throws a full court outlet to LeBron, and he's already there. He's already streaking.
And sometimes vice versa too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the thing that AD. I mean, as much as I love AD, he didn't have that. He could. He tried to do that every once in a while, but
Mhm.
it was always a bit iffy. You know, I was always scared
Yeah.
when he would try those kinds of passes. I
The
mean,
one
it's a
unique
whole
thing, yeah, the one unique thing about this Laker team is that our two best scorers are also our two best playmakers.
yep, yep.
That's a unique situation to be in. Like
So
your two best scorers are also your two best playmakers.
so I do have a hot take,
Yeah.
and I don't care how hot it is.
Yeah.
I think this new Lakers team is the new Showtime. This is Showtime 2.0, if you ask me.
Actually, I'll have I'll have to agree with that. That hot take. Um, there were some previous Laker teams that I thought was the Showtime 2.0. I thought the 2012 Lakers were gonna be Showtime 2.0.
Right.
Honestly. But yeah, it's legitimate actually.
I think this is it, Matt. I think the play. Look, they've been playing well. The weakness of the Lakers in this LeBron era has essentially been when they would be forced to play half court,
Yeah.
right? So the way they kind of run their offense, they always just rely on ISOs and high screen and rolls, and they would struggle when the game slows down.
Right.
Obviously, that's different now because you have a legit isolation scorer in Luka Doncic. No
Yeah.
disrespect to LeBron, but Luka is just otherworldly when it comes to
Yeah.
isolations, and you have that playmaker, that
Yeah.
isolation playmaker that you can
Hmm.
rely on. But the thing with this offense that has always been true is that every time they run, good things happen.
Yeah.
And the if as they play faster, the better their offense gets, and that's what's
Right.
happening here. I mean,
Yeah.
the full court passes have been very, very common now.
Hmm.
It's mostly Luca to LeBron. Someone gets the ball, passes it to either LeBron or Luca, and they throw the full court pass. It's like a
Yeah.
hail mary,
Hmm.
right? It's like a hail mary to the wide receiver in the end zone,
Right.
and it's easy too. We've seen that so many times
So many
after
times.
this trade, and it's
Yeah.
been only a month or so.
Yeah.
So I really think this is a new Showtime, and you
Mhm.
got. I mean, Luca is. I mean, he's Luca Magic, right? That's what he
Yep.
got his name from.
Yes.
And
Yep.
LeBron is definitely one of the best playmakers in NBA history.
And one
This
of the best
natural.
finishers. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So
Mhm.
how deadly is that Luca LeBron pick and roll, man? How
That's
deadly is
deadly.
that?
Yeah. It's gonna give a lot of teams fits. Um, it like like I mentioned earlier, the Lakers are the hottest team in the league right now. Probably other than I don't know OKC
Actually,
and
they've lost two straight. I would say
yeah,
the Cavs have nine straight. They're obviously the hottest team in the league right now.
right.
Cavs have the best record in the league, to be honest, too.
Mm-hmm.
49 and 11 winners of nine straight.
4-9-10.
So
Yeah,
Lakers have the second best winning record, actually tied with the Warriors.
right.
How about that?
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler the third doing wonders there. But yes, Lakers are one of the hottest teams in the league. I agree. Yeah.
Right.
So
And I think
yeah,
the I don't know. It's gonna be difficult to contain that 1-2 punch. I want to see that in the playoffs. We might. I mean, we did predict the Lakers are gonna make the conference finals, and that's the floor. And we want to see how let's say if we do face OKC in the conference finals, we want to see how that's gonna play out.
it's gonna be so much fun. That's gonna
Yep.
be so much fun watching that. Who's gonna stop? Look, I think the Lakers playing great defense right now is great. Right.
Mhm.
I do not think it's sustainable. eventually that's gonna fade away
Right.
as they tire.
Right.
But the effort has been consistent, man. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care if they get tired or whatnot. Credit to LeBron. He's
Yeah.
just set the tone for everyone here. He's just,
Right.
hey man, if this 40-year-old is playing defense, you got to work your ass off too, right?
Right.
That's it's kind
Yeah.
of it's kind of how they've been playing, and
Yeah.
they don't have great individual defense, but the team defense has been great.
Yeah. The way
Okay,
they rotate, the way they close out, the way they, they switch, and just the communication.
they're playing like a team. They
Yeah.
look like a real team now.
Yeah.
It's just everyone's on the same page and
Mm.
everyone's happy. And again, it's kind of giving me those 2023 vibes after
Right.
the Westbrook trade happened.
Yeah.
It's that this team knows that they have something special
Right.
and they're acting on it.
Yep.
Right? So I would want to see more of that LeBron Luca pick and roll. It's just
Right.
dude, I think it's one of the most unstoppable plays right now in the league. It's just
Mhm.
look, what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do if you go and blitz Luca? Right, LeBron
Mhm.
is a roller. He's gonna be open. If
Right.
he's not open, someone else is gonna be open, and LeBron can make that.
Mhm.
Luca can make that skip pass to the weak side, or
He
if
makes,
he
and
needs
that's
to.
another thing I noticed. He makes skip passes and cross court passes look so easy.
Him and LeBron, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And again, and that's the deadly thing about this offense. You usually have one guy who can do that.
Yeah.
Lakers have two, and they're
Yeah.
great at it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there's I think there's no way to defend that Luka LeBron pick and roll. You're essentially gonna have to hope that the other Lakers don't beat you. That's
Right.
essentially what the strategy is gonna be. Now,
Yeah. I know
who's the
you
third best
mentioned.
team? What?
I know you mentioned also that you mentioned the inconsistency of Rui Hachimura. Granted, yes, but we can agree that 2 out of the last 3 games he was playing very well.
Oh, he's been great. He's
Yeah.
been great. I'm glad he didn't get traded. I think
Yeah.
he's look. I've been in the camp that not. I think you are too, right? That
Mm-hmm.
Dorian Finney-Smith should start. No, I don't think you should mess with it. Just keep Rui in there.
Keep
Just
Rui in there.
He's been
Yeah.
given the effort. Now I think he's having fun, and it's unfortunate that he got injured.
Yeah.
But going back to that LeBron Luka pick and roll. Okay, so if they double that, who's gonna sit at the table for everybody else? We got Austin Reeves.
You got some-
Yeah, Austin Reeves. Austin has been playing at a career high pace right now. Even if you double those two, get it to Austin Reeves. He's gonna
Yeah, but
play
third
make that
option.
3-and-3.
Yeah.
It's the offensively. I don't think that this Lakers team hasn't been this good since probably Shaq and Kobe. Offensively speaking,
Offensively speaking, yeah.
right? So, I mean, defense is going to be a problem. Obviously, look, like in that last game, Zubat, they were essentially spamming Zubat's place to get them. And Zubat's played an amazing game because Lakers didn't really have anybody to stop him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Lakers struggled with rebounding, and they're going to struggle with rebounding a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
the strategy is okay. We're gonna play enough defense to stop the bleeding. They're gonna put a
Right.
band-aid on the bleeding, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna try to at least stop it. Can you stop us on the other end? What are you gonna do?
Right.
What are you gonna do when Luca or LeBron has the ball?
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially guaranteed points at that stage,
Yeah.
right? So it's a matter of can you keep up with the offense, right?
Right.
They're gonna try to stop you enough for the
Yeah.
offense to
We might give
overwhelm
up. We might give up some points on defense, but you're not gonna stop us on offense.
you. No,
Yeah.
you can't. You can't. There's no
Yeah.
way you're gonna stop. I mean, Luca's struggling right now. We've seen that. But if he's gonna, when he starts to find that rhythm, man, you're finished.
Yeah.
You're done.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yo, so we got the next 10 games. Okay, let's do a prediction again here. I know, we did this before.
Let's see
So
what we got,
let's
yeah.
let's write up the next game. So tomorrow they got the Clippers.
Clippers.
Right, they're gonna be
okay.
playing at home, and then they got the Pelicans at home.
Pelicans at home.
The New York Knicks are coming at home.
Knicks. Okay.
Yes, and then they got 4 road games, starting with our favorite Leprechauns in Boston.
Boston. Yeah.
Right, you got the Nets.
Yeah.
You got Giannis and the Bucks,
Milwaukee.
and then the road trip wraps up with a
Another-
game at Denver.
Another
Okay.
Denver game.
Then you got 3 home games. You got the struggling Phoenix Suns,
Yeah.
San Antonio with no Wemby, and then
Right.
you get Denver again at
Then
home.
Denver again.
So those are 10 games. What do you think? What's our record going to be after these 10 games?
All right. Let's see.
So
goodness.
just as far as injuries go, so LeBron, Rui's going to be reevaluated in a week.
Yeah.
so he's probably gonna be gone for the first 2 3
Uh-huh.
games of that.
Austin Reeves
Austin
day to
is, I
day.
believe, day to day, if
Day
I'm
to
not
day.
mistaken.
Yeah, nothing on his MRI, thank God. But yeah, he's day to day.
So with that being said, right, what's gonna happen with this record? I'm guessing that they won't have Rui for the first 3 games. He might return during the road trip though.
I would say 7-3 floor.
7-3. Okay.
7-3 floor. Yeah.
All right. I have a feeling they're gonna lose tomorrow's game against the Clippers, and then
Mm.
they might win the next two. Boston is a bit iffy, but if they get Rui back,
Boston's
they should
yeah.
win that.
Mhm.
Brooklyn is. I mean, if they lose that, I don't know what's gonna say. Milwaukee's playing somewhat decently right now,
Uh-huh.
right? They're fourth in the East. Okay,
Right.
sure. You got the Denver game. I'm guessing they're gonna lose that one.
Probably, yeah.
Phoenix and San Antonio, and then they have a good chance of beating Denver. I'm gonna
At
give them
home.
okay.
Yeah.
So if they lose the Clippers game, they lose the Denver game. That's 2 losses already. Yeah, I think 7-3 will be a good
7-3,
prediction
right? Yeah.
here. I think
Yeah.
7-3 will be a good baseline
Right.
as to what they are, and that would be all right, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So let's see. So the official Bigote brothers prediction:
7-3
7-3 for the next 10
for the
games
next
for the
10
Lakers.
games.
Let's
Yep.
see. Let's see what happens. I
Yeah.
think we were so off last time, right?
Right. Yeah. Well,
We were
that last time where that was before the Luca trade.
Yeah, that was for Lucas. We were so off. I think
Yeah.
you had 8-2. I had
Had the
9-1, and they
8-2
ended up
to
6-4 or
6-4.
something.
Yeah.
It's probably
Yeah.
the worst stretch that they
Yeah.
had. That's crazy. So again, we're gonna be looking forward to what the Lakers are
Mhm.
gonna be giving us. So
Yeah.
they have at least probably last I count, I think they had 24, 23 games left in the season,
Right. Yeah.
and the fun starts. This is where the fun starts. So
Yeah.
see what happens with the team in the playoffs. Again, I still think of conference finals is very, very reachable for them.
Very realistic.
Again,
Yeah.
and again, they have a good chance of winning now. I would say. So depending on their playoff matchups, they might be a good chance to win.
Yeah.
The finals might be a little bit tricky considering they really don't have a big man.
Right.
But as long as Luca and LeBron play at this level, they should be fine.
Yeah.
They should be all right. But either way, I'm looking forward to what happens to the rest of the season. This trade has definitely breathed new life into this team and
Oh,
into
yeah.
its fans as well.
Mhm.
All right.
Absolutely.
So, let's move on. So, I know this topic has been something that we wanted to talk to in a while. So,
Right.
this is not NBA related for anybody out
Huh?
there. It's more of a local thing. So, we both went to the same school, basically. And if anybody knew anybody about college sports in the Philippines, it's mostly there's 2 big schools that are happening there. It's essentially, would you say it's Duke UNC levels?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Duke,
If you
UNC,
would,
UCLA, USC.
yeah, if you would compare it to a U.S. rivalry, what would it be?
Oh,
What's the best way to compare it to?
Absolutely, Duke, UNC.
Duke UNC?
You
Yeah.
got two schools steeped in tradition. Um, two schools that are, I mean, regarded as the top institutions. With regards to academics, with regards to just campus life, and just the culture in general. The rich culture. Yeah, I would say Duke, UNC.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So we're talking about the rivalry between our school, the Ateneo Blue Eagles,
Go Blue Eagles.
versus the other team, which is the De La Salle Green Archers. So
Yes, sir.
now, I would say, and I'm a little bit biased here, because this was, I mean, without really mentioning, snitching on our ages, this was the only championship we saw when you were there, right?
When we were
When
there.
we were in
Yeah.
school,
When we were
right?
there.
So
Yeah.
we're essentially talking about the season 65 champions, the
Yeah.
Ateneo Blue Eagles. Now,
65. Yep.
let's do a little bit of reminiscing here. You know what? Let's run through the roster real quick.
Okay.
So you had of course the guy, the King Eagle himself, Enrico Villanueva,
Right.
center. L.A. Tenori, was he a rookie? He was a rookie at the time, right? He started
No,
off. He was a rookie that
we
year.
were sophomores then, so he
Oh,
was.
right. He was.
Yeah.
This was second. Yes,
He was
right.
my-
This
he
was
was
the
my
second
classmate.
year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
This was his second year. He was the
Right.
point guard at Lake Tenorio. He's actually still playing right now, if you don't
Yeah.
believe it.
The Iron
He's still
Man.
playing pro ball. Good
Yep.
for him. And he survived. He's got through a serious medical condition, which is
Right.
great to hear. Props
Mm-hmm.
to him.
Yep.
So you got LA Tenorio at point guard. You had Larry Fournier starting two guard. You
Yeah.
had
I
Rich
probably I
Alvarez.
should I probably should reach out to Ellie and see if he could he could come on this podcast one of these days.
Yo,
You know
that would be
that
great.
would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll save
Yeah.
that episode in the
We'll-
can for the future.
Yeah.
But I would love to have a legend. I mean, look,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I'll keep my thoughts in a bit. Let's just run
Yeah.
through the roster real quick. So
Right.
you got Rich Alvarez in there, and obviously
Yep.
one of my favorite players in Ateneo history, Wesley Gonzalez.
Oh,
He's probably one of my
the
favorite players.
Wild Wild West.
Papa West in the house.
Yeah.
Right? That's one of my favorite players to watch. He's just I think he's like a runner test bit. He plays with a lot of heart.
Plays a lot
He
of
plays
heart.
great defense, and he's
Yep.
just fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I think JC was a bit young.
JC was
This
a
part
rookie.
Yeah, JC was a rookie. JC Intal. And you got the
But Ron was
man.
already a high flyer. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of them. He had a lot of dunks, man,
Yeah.
and especially for our time, that was essentially new because we
Yeah.
don't see a lot of them.
That was his game.
You got Jack Chia, obviously
Ooh.
the intramurals legend Jack Chia himself.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, yeah, we're going to talk about this in detail in a bit.
Yeah.
Epoch Kimpo, who's actually the manager of the team
Coach,
now. He's
Coach
managing the team.
Epoch, yeah. Mhm.
Yep. You have Sani Tadeo.
Yeah. Kuya
Yeah.
Sani. Yeah. Kuya Sani.
Andrew-
It's funny because I was youth minister to one of my students back in 2017. Her mom was the sister of Kuya Sani.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, yeah.
He's a center, right? He's a huge dude, right?
Yes, and I remember he was on that team. He was on that team because we lost Paulo Bugia and Magnum to ACL injuries.
That's right. Yes, I was wondering why they were in here.
Yeah.
Right. So so you got Andrew Cruz,
Mm-hmm.
Maki Escalona.
Andrew Mackey.
He's, he was from LaSalle, right? Greeno's.
Oh no, Mackey's Ateneo High School.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Doug Kramer.
Doug
He's
Kramer,
very popular
yeah.
now. J.R. Almido
Yeah, Ateneo High School. Yeah.
at the high school. Yep. Conrad Banal,
Mm-hmm.
Marco Benitez.
Marco
You got
Benitez,
Baji Del Rosario.
yeah.
I think I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
him watch a couple of games.
Yeah.
And Eric Yao. So that's essentially the lineup that they had here.
Right.
So what do you remember most about this? And I know
Bro.
you might start with this. So what do you remember most about
Bro,
this
the
season?
Jack Chia shot, man.
The Jack Chia shot. That was it, right? That was probably the memory
my
of
goodness.
this season for me too.
The memory of actually that.
Well, no. Actually, this is the second best. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what the first one is later, but this is my
Yeah.
second best memory.
I
So
remember that
yeah,
game,
about that
Final
Jack Chia
Four.
shot. What about that? Yeah.
Final Four. So basically, in the Philippines, the Final Four.
We have a weird setup for it, but
It's a
yeah,
weird
go
setup.
explain. Yeah,
If you have there's four, was 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
yeah.
First and second seed get to play. First seed plays the fourth seed. Second seed plays
Mm-hmm.
the third seed. The first and second seed, if they win once, that's it. But you have to beat them twice. Third and
That's
fourth
right.
seed has to beat them twice in order to advance. So we're number 3, and University of the East (UE) is number 2.
They were stacked too.
Yeah, they were stacked.
They were stacked.
yeah.
You had Paul Artadi.
Paul
You had
Artadi. Oh my God.
Papa
Quick
James.
basketball. Yeah.
Papa James was there. Papa James, yep.
Yeah.
And
The
then
Saint-
was it
the
was,
Saint Ronald Tubid.
the same? No, there you go. I was gonna say that. No, it's stupid.
Yeah.
They were stacked. That
Yeah.
team, that UE team was very well deserving of that
Ooh, yeah.
second slot, right?
Right.
So, I mean, it was a miracle. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So we're number 3, UE's number 2. We won the first game.
Yep.
And then second
To set up a do or die game,
Set up a do or
right?
die
So the
game.
second game was do or
Yeah.
die game. Yep.
second game was close. I remember multiple lead changes. Jack Chia last few minutes had like 3-4 turnovers. I don't know, the UE crowd was just, they were on fire that game. You know, It was just an intense environment, but
Yeah,
despite
I mean,
that,
look, the environment for everybody who doesn't watch, right? So the environment of the UAAP is crazy.
it's
It's
crazy.
essentially what NCAA games
Right.
look like in the states,
Mhm.
right? That is what that is.
Yeah.
So
But imagine this though. So like in a Duke UNC game, you have the Cameron Crazies, which are like they're just like one row in or like just a few rows in Cameron Indoor Stadium, which is in Durham, which is where Duke is, right? But imagine this: you have the Cameron Crazies in one section, but in the UAP you have Cameron Crazies in half of the arena.
yeah,
So like if you see an Ateneo Lasal game, half of the stadium is wearing blue and half of the stadium's wearing green.
and actually, the way they allocate tickets is
Yeah.
that they really have one side on the first
Yes.
side. It's
Yep.
they're not mixing. You can literally look at the other side of the stadium
Yeah.
and see the rival team's fans, and they're just
Right.
being as crazy as you
Yeah.
are. It's such an insane environment.
Insane. Yeah.
It's if you're in the Philippines and you watch if you go and watch an Ateneo Lasal game, it's a must watch. It's hard
Mhm.
to get tickets, right?
Right.
It's gonna be the hardest set
Mhm.
of tickets you're gonna find
Right.
for that day or maybe that month because
Oh yeah.
it's just so hard to get. But
Mhm.
if you can get in, I would highly recommend watching one of those games because the atmosphere is just
Yeah.
crazy. I,
He's
I I
crazy.
remember,
Yeah.
I think I remember. So Gilbert Arenas was Adidas at the time,
Yeah.
and for what I remember, I think Adidas was sponsoring both Ateneo and LaSalle at this time
Right.
with the
Yeah.
jerseys.
This was
So
before
they
Ateneo
had him in
had.
the game.
Yeah. This was before Ateneo signed with Jordan.
Yeah, so this was so before
Way
I
before.
think
Yeah.
before Jordan they signed with Nike first and
Yeah.
whatnot. So but back then, right, it was a big deal back in the day.
Mhm.
They both were Adidas, and Gilbert Arenas was in the Philippines during this time,
Yeah.
and they shoved him into that game. They had him watch the Ateneo LaSalle
Right.
game. I'm gonna try to find the article, but he basically said what we're saying right now. The environment is
Yeah.
insane
Insane.
for a college game. So
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead. You're
We're
talking
going
about the
back.
game, and then
Yeah. We're down two, and basically Jack Chia, who again you mentioned was a walk on. He
I
was.
don't think I don't think they were down to what they. I think it was a tie game. I think it was a tie
They were
game.
down two. He shoot. He. They give it to him on the elbow. He shoots a mid range shot and it goes in. Tie game. Yui ball. I remember that game. Paul Artadi.
Missed the free throws, right?
No, he lost the ball.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he drove. He drove to give them the go ahead basket, but he lost the ball. Turnover. So back the other end, the last play of the game, Eli Tenorio wanted to take it. He was double teamed underneath the basket. He kicks it out to Chia. 1 second, 17-footer, and he makes it. At
Yeah,
the
so that was a one dribble pull up. I think I remember
one
that. It was a
dribble pull
broken
up.
play.
One dribble
It was a
pull up.
broken play,
Yeah.
and then they just gave it to him, and
Yeah.
he cooked, baby. He cooked.
Yeah, he cooked. Yeah.
Let's show. Let's show. I actually have the clip. Let's go
Oh, you
show.
have
All
the
right.
clip. All right.
Yeah. I found the clip. I found the clip. Let's show. It's gonna
Yeah.
be horrible. It's gonna be a horrible foot kind
Quality.
of quality. But let's
Yeah,
let's see.
it's
Let's
like
see. All right,
20
because
years
I
ago,
really
yeah.
want people to see this.
Yeah.
So yeah. So here's it. Here's the shot. So
Yeah.
let's try to get this in. Okay. So
Right.
you got. It's so grainy, man. Look at that. It's
Yeah.
horrible. So I think this is where Ellie was driving, and then you got. This is Enrico, right?
Rika's
Yeah,
pretty
thi-
much triple team.
Yeah, you got triple team, and then you got Jack Chia. That's Larry Funashare waiting in the wings.
Yep.
Open shot. Rich has a shot. He's not as reliable, but he still
Mm-hmm.
can make threes. And yeah, let's see how it plays out. I'm gonna play this. We can
Yeah.
replay it if you want, but let's just play it one time
Yeah.
just to make sure it's good. Let's go.
Ateneo. You know, during that timeout, I was telling you, dude, if Jack
One dribble
Chia
pull up.
takes this basket, he should be
In
our
his
player of
face,
the game.
bro.
Big shot.
Splash,
coming from-
dude. That was nothing but net.
Big shot from
Yeah.
Jack Chia.
And that was it, right? That image where he had his hand raised
Yeah.
and he was just walking and they were
That's
just going
classic.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, actually, let's look at
Were
this.
you there? Were you at that game?
No, man, I was at. I think I was at my friend's place at this time.
Oh.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look.
Possible. At Ateneo, behind Rico Villanueva. Larry Fonachera and Jack
Well,
Field
I
countered
get
with their own run.
why can't these be somewhere that's
Another
easy to
run by the
get?
Blue Eagles saw
Yeah.
Gonzalez
I just
squad
gotta say,
soaring
man.
ahead.
Yeah.
This is probably Jack shot. There you go. There you
I have
go.
no doubt that's going to
You should see the tying shot there.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This pull.
Forces his way, picks up his dribble.
Yeah.
Out to Chia. 1 second.
Yeah, that's a one dribble pull up.
Ah!
Wow. Yeah.
Look at that, man. It's a
Yeah.
semifinal game, okay?
Yep.
Look at that. They're just piling on him like they won the championship.
It's a semifinal game.
But
yeah.
this was such a crazy moment. They had to.
No,
they had to.
the crazy, yeah. The crazy thing about the season was we started the season 4-5.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was. They weren't really good to start the season. I know. Yeah.
We were written off.
Man,
We started 4-5.
And this was a season where LaSalle was really dominant too.
LaSalle won the first 13 games.
Yeah, and Ateneo was the one that beat him in the last one.
Yeah,
That was insane. That was it. So
Yeah.
for those who don't know how it works in the Philippines, right? So in this league is called the UAAP, and there are
University
8 teams.
Yeah,
There are 8 teams, right?
8
So they
teams.
play
Yeah.
each team twice. So that's
Yep.
a total of 14 games.
14 games.
And then at the end of those 14 games, the top 4 advance to that Final Four that
Final
Jeb
Four.
just mentioned.
Yeah.
So now, but the thing is, if you end up winning all 14 of your games, you go straight to the finals.
You go straight to finals. Yeah.
That was the deal. So
Yep.
LaSalle essentially had that free reign. They won 13 straight games. They only had one game left, and this is how big that Ateneo LaSalle game is. It
Right.
usually is at the end of each round.
Yeah.
So Ateneo,
Either at the end of each round or at the start.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's that big. So in this case,
Yeah.
it was the end of the season, right? This was the last game that LaSalle had to play in the regular season before the playoffs began. And if they won the game against Ateneo, they would go straight to the finals.
Yeah.
And what's gonna happen is I think there's gonna be a mini tournament. The second seeds
Yeah.
gonna wait for
3
the
and
second,
4
the third, and
is gonna
fourth,
play, and then whoever wins that plays number 2 or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
something like that. And but essentially, LaSalle gets a lot of rest, and they can just win. And LaSalle was stacked, man. They had. I think this is one of the best LaSalle teams that ever could have
Yeah.
played.
And they had one of my favorite point guards, Cool Cap.
Oh man,
Mike
that guy is one of my favorite
Mike
players,
Cortez,
man.
bro.
I mean, Mike Cortez is one. I'm just gutted at how his career had gone.
Yeah.
You know,
he
yeah, his pro career is just
Oh,
he just
really?
got injured every
I didn't know
time.
that, yeah.
I think he always tore his knee and whatnot.
Wow.
But he's just one of the guys that you'd love to watch
Yeah.
because as you mentioned, he's a cool guy. He just
Right.
how would you describe his game? How would you describe his game if you're talking about NBA? So he's definitely not.
In NBA terms, I would think he's like a Derrick Rose in his prime.
Without really that explosiveness, right? He's not as explosive as D Rose, though.
Yeah, I remember he had a 3. He could shoot the 3.
He could shoot, yes.
He was a
He could just-
great passer.
The playmaking was
Yeah.
insane, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
But
That
he
was how
could
people-
beat defenders off the dribble and penetrate as well.
so who was on the LaSalle team? Okay, so I know it was Cortez,
Mike Cortez
and
was
obviously
there.
you got Cardona, Mac Cardona,
Captain Hook.
one of the best players to come out of LaSalle as well.
Yeah.
Love. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
he would just throw up. I mean, those floaters, essentially
Yeah.
floaters, right?
Yeah.
He would just throw floaters and they would drop like nothing. And he
Jump
also had a
hook.
3-point
Yeah,
shot too.
Baby hook, yeah.
He had Joseph Yo.
Joseph Yo, who is a backup still.
He was a backup, but he was good.
good.
He was such a good player.
Yeah.
I hated it when he had the ball because he's gonna find a way to
He's gonna
score.
find a way to score.
Yeah.
You had
was Adonis Santa Maria on that
Luis
team?
Santa Maria, Bruiser, yeah.
Carlos Sharma was Carlos Sharma too.
Carlos Sharma was there, yeah. Willie Wilson,
Willie Wilson. Was Redren in that team?
No,
He was already
Redren-
done, right?
yeah. Renner Nitowalo graduated the year before.
The
when
year
they won the
before,
championship.
that's right.
Yeah.
So
one of my
when
favorite-
they beat
one of my
Ateneo, that was
favorite
Redren.
shooters.
One of the best shooters in the history of Philippine basketball,
Yeah.
right? Redren Nitwalo. Yes, much
Yep.
props.
The perfect shooting form. Two.
Who was the center in that team for them for LaSalle?
Manny Ramos.
Manny Ramos. Okay.
Manny Ramos. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so there you go. So LaSalle was essentially stacked
Yeah.
that year, and they won 13 straight. They
Yep.
lost that last game
Yeah.
against Ateneo.
Yeah.
And now what happens here is
We had the
that
Final Four,
Ateneo
yeah.
beat UE,
Yeah.
another stacked team, to face LaSalle in the championship.
Right.
Now, game one, man. Game one. What?
Oh.
This is my absolute favorite moment. You
I
go
can-
talk about it. I'll
I
go
was
find
there.
the moment right now. Okay.
I was there.
This is my favorite moment in basketball.
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
I remember that.
What do you remember about that game?
I was there.
You were wait. Did you watch the game?
I was there. I was there. Game 1.
Wow.
Game 1, Game 2, I was there. Game 3, I could not get tickets for Game 3 because you had to camp out at the Blue Eagle Gym overnight to get tickets.
Wait, okay? So tell me how you got tickets. I think I'm interested in how you got tickets because Ateneo LaSalle games are already hard. But what
Yeah.
about the finals ones?
I know for the first game I lined up. I remember for game 1 it was like 4 p.m. they're gonna sell tickets, so like I was there like 2 hours, so I was waiting for 2 hours for
Wait, describe what the atmosphere was here.
the what.
So describe the atmosphere. What the atmosphere was here. So
In game-
what
game one.
was it like?
In game 1.
No, I mean just lining up for tickets.
Oh, it was fun. It was fun actually. Yeah, yeah. I remember. I think the day they sold tickets, I think I only had class until like 12. So we lined up for like a couple hours to get tickets for game 1, and this was like a week before or something.
Right.
And then I remember game 2 because I know because my dad had friends in in Philippine basketball because
There you go. We're gonna.
because of his ties to the PBA. So
Right.
and I think a friend got him tickets for game 2. So that's how I got game 2 tickets.
Talking about the legendary Charlie Fabis, of course. Yes.
Well, we hope to have him here one of these days too.
That's
Talk about
goal, right? So
the memories, PBA.
Your dad is one of the pioneers of the game. He's one of the legends. I would consider him one of those.
He's like
So-
he's like Rob Pelinka.
The
'cause,
breadth. Okay, so
Yeah.
every time I talk to your dad about basketball, I learn something new. The knowledge that man has, I'm just
and
in
the
awe.
experience too. Like the players that he drafted or like players that he signed. It's he's had a lot of experience in the PBA as well.
Hopefully, we get to pick his brain.
Hopefully, yeah.
Just one day.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were talking about the tickets in the game. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough for game 1 to get middle or like was it lower box tickets?
I think it's lower box what they
lower
call
box.
it. Yeah.
And then for game 2 I had the upper box. So it was still the atmosphere was crazy. Yeah. But game 1, yes, I will defer to you. I know that's one of the
Okay.
greatest moments, not just in that season, but I think it's in the whole.
I think in my basketball
Basketball,
memory, that's
yeah.
probably one of the greatest moments.
Yeah.
I still, every time I watch a video of it, or every time I see the photo of that moment, I'm still laughing, man. Like, I'm not even talking about the block itself. Okay,
no, it's
so,
not even the block. Yeah.
you're right. So the moment after
Yeah.
was the crazy one. So I'm gonna try to play the footage of the game and at least that one moment because to set the tone, right? So I think Ateneo was up 2
Right.
and LaSalle had the chance to
They
tie
have the
it.
ball. They
Now,
have the ball.
now take note that to set the context here, we've already mentioned Mac Cardona and how deadly that
Yeah.
jumper of his is, right?
The jump hook, yeah.
Right, that jump hook, whatever you want to call it, floater jump hook, right? And for some reason, it always fell. I fucking
Yeah.
hated that watching that shot. It's so ugly, but it's so effective.
Right.
He's so good at it, and
Yeah.
that's what made me enjoy watching him so much. He's so unorthodox in his movement.
Yeah.
He's not really the quickest guy out there,
No,
right?
it's not. Yeah, yeah. But he was just at the right place at the right time, always.
he's always like that. He just
Yeah.
knows where the ball is gonna go. He just knows how to affect his defenders and whatnot.
Yeah.
He's just fun to watch. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's reminisce on this. So I will. I got it here. So let's see.
Oh, here
so
we go.
Ateneo is that's Ateneo right there.
Right.
Admu and DLSU is LaSalle. So as you can see, LaSalle has the ball. Ateneo up 2 points.
Oh, just a 2-point
They
ball
get inbound it.
That's out down
There you
by
go.
2.
So they give it to Mac Cardona. Mac Cardona has the headband at number
Yep.
17.
Number 17.
That's Mike Cortez in here. And who's guarding him?
Go for the
I
tie.
can't see. Oh, that's Andrew Cruz. Andrew Cruz is
guarding.
guarding. Andrew Cruz is one of the best defenders on that team.
Yes.
And he was guarding the point guard.
And he's
who's
US based too, Andrew.
Oh yeah. He's from there, right?
Yeah.
He's from the US. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got. I believe this is Larry Fonashare.
That's Larry. Uh-huh.
Yep. And Larry's gonna pick up
Yeah.
Mac here.
Yeah.
This is. I can't
Wes
see. It's hard to see.
picking up Joseph
That's
Yo.
Nico.
That's Wes.
Oh, that's Papa West picking up. Yo, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. So this is Cardona here.
Yeah.
Looks like they're gonna try to isolate him.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Cardona has the ball.
Bumps him. Okay, he's right there. Larry's right there. And you can Enrico and Rich can collapse anytime they wanted
Right.
to. So they got 4 seconds left, if I'm
4
not
seconds.
mistaken, on that clock.
Right.
Let's zoom it in.
He
Blocks
shot
him. Bam.
by
Gets it
Fonseca.
back. Boom.
Watch this.
Look at that. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at Wes. Look at Wes. That's the moment right there. Look at that. Look at that. So he blocks him once. This is the second block, right? So okay, so he blocked him once because he was just there.
Yeah.
And then he gets it back. And then he just, I mean, there was just 2 seconds. There was no chance for him, so he could kick it out. This
way
is
he was gonna
Joseph.
pass the ball. And I remember Larry was saying that, he knew that there was no time for him to pass the ball to anyone else.
That was
he
it.
Wanted,
So
he wanted to live or die by that jump hook.
I mean, there was no chance he could. I mean, if he could get a decent shot off, you had Andrew Cruz right here. You got Wesley right here, and obviously Fonashare. Fonashare's bigger, I believe. He's taller than Mac, right?
Yeah, he's taller.
Yeah, and he's definitely a long dude too. So
Right.
that's how he got the block. So he blocks him once. Cardona gets it back, and then boom, gets it again. And that was it. That's the game.
Yeah.
That's essentially the game. Look at. So Cardona falls down.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah,
This
he's
is
down.
Wesley. Where's Wesley? This is Wesley right here.
Yeah.
On the side next to the ref. You look at it. He comes from below the free throw line. Cardona is outside of the 3-point line. And Wesley is below the free throw line. Look at what Wesley does here. This is the funniest shit ever.
Yeah.
Look at that. Boom! He points at him. you gotta understand the rivalry within these
rivalry,
teams,
yeah,
right?
yeah, the
So apart
rivalry,
from the
yeah.
school rivalry, let's paint the picture a bit. But I want to show you the photo because I have the photo here.
Yeah.
So, let me just show the photo real quick while we shift off that video because this is this is the
that's a
funniest
classic.
shit I've ever seen in my life. Just watching just watching basketball.
Yeah.
So okay, where am I? There you go. So let's share that. I will share this. Look at this, bro. Look at that photo. Look at that photo, man. That was a photo of him after the block. Look at him. Look at his face, bro. That was pent up emotion, man. That was pure hate at the time.
You can actually see. You can actually find it on YouTube. There is a clip. There's a video of him explaining why he did it.
I gotta watch that. I know I watched that before,
Yes.
but I gotta watch it. But
Yeah.
look at that. That's just, he pointed at him after the game. He got blocked twice and they lost. That's probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And that was definitely my memory from this series.
Yeah.
This photo.
Right.
I think this was my wallpaper on my computer for a while after this game. Because for some reason it was just too funny for me.
Yeah, there was also a lot of like micro rivalries within that, because we have to remember also like Enrico Villanueva was a winner in high school,
Yeah.
but he didn't win a championship in college until that last year.
So who was his running mate in high school, by the way?
Wesley.
Wesley
Yeah.
End. There's another guy. There's another guy missing.
Yeah,
One of my
Michael.
favorite Ateneo players of all time.
BJ Manalo.
BJ Manalo, one of my favorite players of all time. So the
Yeah.
story, you fill in the blanks, right? All I know is that obviously Enrico and Wesley came up together, and
Right.
BJ was younger, right?
BJ was one class lower.
Yeah.
He was a
Was
junior
but
when they were seniors.
Enrico and Wesley are the same,
Yeah,
same class.
they're seniors. Yeah,
All right,
they were seniors when we were freshmen.
that's right.
Yeah.
So, um, they were supposed basically the way the pipeline goes in the Philippines is that um, there's a kind of like a feeder system with high schools, right?
Yeah.
So,
So like,
so they're on the same school.
yeah,
So
and then of course when if you're a standout in high school, like the college athletics is gonna like they like kind of tell you, hey, we're expecting you to to
yeah,
come in and and play for the college team.
it's not like in the States where you recruit
Yeah.
from different high schools and whatnot.
Right.
This is essentially the high school of that same school, right?
Of
So
that same school, yeah,
our
yeah.
school had everything in that. They had
Elementary,
the
yeah.
grade school, the high school, and the
College, yeah.
college all in one campus, right? This is the fun part about it.
Yeah.
So BJ was expected to join Enrico and Wesley when they went up. But that didn't happen because he
Right.
went to La Salle. He went to the rival school.
Yeah.
And I remember, man, I feel bad for the guy looking back, how much hate he that was probably like the decision level
The decision level, yeah, yeah.
of hate.
Yeah.
I remember the hate that guy got, even though the fans were heckling him. They were literally
right.
hate. That was literally hate.
Yeah, and also from if you kind of look at it from a fair point of view, like there's also remember when Enrico and Wesley were seniors during our time in high school, our basketball program in high school, we were the best.
That was the best basketball basketball high school, yeah.
We were perennial champions.
Yeah.
But the college team was not.
They're bad.
They were bad. They were bad. So BJ, I think what happened was he went to LaSalle because they had a better program. They just simply had a better.
They definitely had a better program at the
better
time.
program.
Because before this championship in 2002, they haven't won since their last
88.
back to back. Right? That was 88. That
Yeah.
was the last time they won, and
Yeah.
that team was strong as hell too. So, yeah, I agree. I mean, looking back, it's just a horrible look for everybody involved. Really, the guy just chose what he wanted, right?
Yeah, I mean, he felt that LaSalle would be the school that would further enhance his talents. Unfortunately, and I know Kuya BJ had probably a good 2 years and
He
then he
had
got hurt.
so many injuries, man.
Yeah.
I was just again, he was one of my. We obviously we watched him in high school,
Yeah.
so we
Oh,
feel
gosh.
a certain way
Ooh.
about him.
I remember he was way ahead of his time as a point guard. Like he was a shooter.
He can shoot, he can play make. He was essentially
he was a
what
playmaker. Yeah.
he was essentially what Kiefer became.
Yeah. He was the phenom before the phenom, I think.
Yeah. So he was that good. I think
Yeah.
injuries
And-
really
yeah.
robbed him of what he could have been.
Yeah.
He's he was a great player
Oh.
when he was on.
Yeah.
And that team if you think about it though, if BJ went to Ateneo, would they still have gotten LA? Would how effective would LA been in that system?
Well,
Because
we
BJ
had,
was backing up. BJ was backing up Mike Cortez, right? Remember?
He was backing up Ren first because Mike Cortez at the time I think was backing up Dino Aldeguer
Yeah.
or Ronald Kuan. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but
either of the
BJ
two.
was more of a point guard than a
More-
shooting guard.
yeah,
They
but
were
he
kind of forcing him to play too, but
Shooting guard,
that's
was
not
the
his
thing
game.
too, yeah. Now let's say if he went to Ateneo, he would have gone in the same year as Larry and. Well, no. Larry is a class. He would have gone in when we were juniors in high school.
Yeah.
So he would have probably backed up. I don't know, Epoch Kimbo probably. Coach Epoch.
He would have taken
Yeah.
his spot, man. I love it. Epokim he's good, but
smart point
BJ
guard.
BJ is just one hell of a player.
Yeah.
I think BJ would have gotten that spot, and I don't
Yeah.
know how that would have affected how they recruited LA because Ellie, he's amazing as well, right?
No,
I think that ended up well.
LA, we would have the best point, the best 1-2 point guards in
That
the league.
would that was probably the best backcourt. I think
Yeah.
if that
My
would have
favorite
happened.
player though was Magno Membrere.
Another guy, yeah.
Shooter, what a shooter!
Is that your favorite player? Okay, if we're talking about this team,
Yeah.
is he your favorite player?
Oh, from the season 65
If
team.
you're talking about this specific season, I wanna get into that. I wanna get into that eventually.
And the season 65 team, it'll probably be Larry.
Probably Larry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Larry.
Yeah,
Larry
I'm gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna stick to my guns, man. I've always been a fan of Wes.
Wes,
You know,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
I was disappointed in how his pro career went out. I think he was misused and whatnot, but that guy always played with heart, and you could see it.
Oh.
I remember. So he was suspended from the team. Remember?
1 year.
You
Yeah.
know, yeah, he was not on the team, and
Yeah.
was this the first year back? I think this was the first year back.
Yeah,
Or the second year back.
we were freshmen in college. This was season 64, where we lost to LaSalle in the finals.
So that was that his first year back? That 64?
The 65 team when we won the championship. That's his first year back.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
he wasn't there in 64. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you were able to do, but I saw him play in the college courts,
Mhm.
and you could just see how different level he had. He was
Yeah.
to the other people. No disrespect to anybody there,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
you could see there were levels to the game, and Wesley was just on a different level.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was just head and
Oh, yeah.
shoulders above, and you know,
Yep.
I was fortunate to have watched those pickup games there, so that was pretty cool. So
Oh, yeah.
now that was game one. That was game one. So
Yeah.
they won by 2, and what happened next?
We lost game 2.
Yeah, they lost game 2,
Yeah.
right?
I remember that the highlight of that game was Mike Cortez with a two-handed dunk on the fast break.
He could get up. Yeah, he always could
He
get
could
up.
get up. Yeah, yeah. And
So-
then game 3.
Game
yeah.
3 was essentially okay. So this was a best of 3 series, by the way. So
Right.
game
Yeah.
3 was essentially all the marbles.
Yep. And we kind of took the lead in game 3, never looked back. Mike Cortez had a bad game. I remember he
Yeah, he had that was memorable for him because I remember that he just disappeared that game for some reason.
because Rich Alvarez was on him. That
So
was,
Mike he's 6 foot tall,
he's
5'10" or 6'10".
6'2".
Rich is 6'4". Yeah, they
Rich
put a
is
bigger.
6'4", 6'5". Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty huge. Rich is
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, so I think Coach Joel made that adjustment where he put Rich Alvarez on Mike Cortez, and it was hard for him because he shot like 2 for 13.
Yeah, he struggled. He struggled in that game. They couldn't win without him. Yeah.
Sadly, there were allegations that that he threw the game, but I don't buy those
I don't think
because
so.
Alvarez played great defense on Mike
All right,
Cortez.
I'll give a little bit of I don't know how insider information, how much insider this can be considered, but I don't know. Well, I told you this. I don't know if you remember, but my wife is from that school,
Oh,
so she went to that school and she was batchmates with them.
oh,
Yeah, she actually knew some of these players. You know, I think BJ was the sister of one of their friends, and I think Maki Escalona. I mean, he's from Ateneo, but Maki Escalona lived in the same subdivision, and Mike was obviously their batchmate, so they could see it. I mean, I don't think from the stories that she told me, and I've asked her this as well, but the story she told me, I don't think it's real either. I don't believe the allegations.
No.
I mean, people just get bad games, man. It is what it
Yeah.
is, right?
That's what it is,
That's how it is. It's
Yeah.
not. They're not always gonna play perfect, right? But
no.
it's
Yeah.
just how it is. I think the expectations that how LaSalle was that good, and how they lost. But the thing is, man, this Ateneo team was hungry.
Yeah, we were hungry.
You talked about the sub stories within it, right? So you have to remember that we talked about BJ and Enrico and Wesley. Enrico and Wesley hated BJ for a long while, right? I think they're all good now. Obviously, it's been a while. But
I don't know. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know about the.
there was absolute animosity there, but good thing. I think they patched it up, which is great. It's amazing. But also, this was Enrico's last year. This was his last year to actually win a championship, given the fact how dominant he was in high school, and how disappointing his college career has been. Everybody was expecting him to win.
And he won the MVP that year too. So
Well, he was that good. He
yeah,
was really good,
he
and
was dominant. Yeah,
I can't. How do I compare his game? He's a traditional back to the basket big, right?
Right.
He had a hook shot, but he's not that kind of guy. But he's just gonna grind you inside.
He would power his way, like, you know.
Yeah, he plays a lot of bully ball, and
Right.
that worked for him, right? That was his game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was his last year. I believe he got drafted after this, and he went on to the pros and whatnot. But this was his last chance, and he made the most out of it.
Right.
So, and also for the school, right? They didn't haven't won, and since
14
'88.
years. Yeah.
That was a long time, and they actually
Yeah.
LaSalle was in the midst of chasing a 5P too.
Yeah. Yeah. They won 4 straight, 98 to 01.
Yep, and this was and I was this was their no, this wasn't their last right, but this essentially stopped their 5P, which
Yeah.
Ateneo eventually did anyway, which we're gonna get to in a future episode. But I personally think this is probably one of my favorite Ateneo teams ever.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but this is
This
probably
team,
one of my top 3.
Yeah, there's like 3 teams that I think are, if you look at Ateneo basketball, there's like 3 teams that that really stand out. It's the season 65 team, the 2011 team with Greg Slaughter, Kiefer
Yep.
Ravena, and the perfect season 2019.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That was it. That's probably it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to get more into that, obviously, because I don't think we're gonna be winning anytime soon.
Yeah.
So Ateneo right now is in rebuild mode. Obviously,
We're in rebuild mode. Like we were like 4-10 the last.
they were bad last year. I think they're one of the lower teams.
Yeah.
But because look, they lost good players. Some players went pro, some players left, and they were left with rookies. Basically,
Yeah.
They were left with rookies, and you know it is what it is. I believe that they're still on the right path as long as they keep the current coaching staff.
Right.
And this is just praise to the great Tab Baldwin.
Coach
I hope
Tab
he.
and Coach Tab.
This is his last year. This is his last year. I think from his contract, this is his last year now. There are a lot of rumors as to where Coach Tab would go. There's rumors that he might coach Indonesia. There's rumors that he might go back here.
Go back
because
to New
he is
Zealand.
from here.
Yeah. He might go back. Yeah.
He is from here, so I think he has some family here,
Right.
and he calls this home. So he might go back here.
There's also
you know.
I also heard some rumors that probably Norman Black might return to Ateneo.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think that. I mean, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
Coach Norman, he brought us the 5 feet. So yeah.
He's the one. He's probably one of the greatest Ateneo coaches. Obviously,
Right.
is. So that would be. Let's see what happens. I'm kind of been spoiled as to how these Tab Baldwin teams have played.
Right.
I kind of enjoy that basketball a little bit more, but we'll see what
Right.
happens. I think
Yeah.
Ateneo will always have that recruiting power.
Right.
The allure is there. It's one of the top schools in the country, and people will want to play there.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna be that. So yeah, that's probably it. We can wrap it up there. I mean, I'd love to talk more about these local stuff in the future.
Right, yeah.
Obviously, if we can get some, your dad is probably. I'm excited for that whenever we want to do that.
That would be great. Yeah.
I do have a lot of thoughts about Philippine basketball in general, and I look forward to talking about that. So
All right.
now that's it. See you guys next week. We'll see
See
what
ya.
this next week holds for Lakers, and we'll see you guys soon. Cheers.
All right. Take care.